Today's quilt card I can't show you till Tim gets on screen because this is actually the very first quilt I ever made in my life. It's my inspiration for today. So I'd love to know if you're a quilter. If you're not a quilter, I know you know quilters who would love this. And you will know this pattern. It is a log cabin. We've had a conversation going over about quilting in the Back Porch Stampers, and it's amazing how many people started with a log cabin pattern. Anyway, back in 1973, way back when we were dating, my roommate, another Karen, and I decided, it'd be fun to make quilts for our boyfriends for Christmas. So we did. This was like in November, last minute as always. Our third roommate, Sue, thought she'd do the same, and she ended up kind of with a pillow. That's kind of as far as she got. We're all three really good friends still, and it's so fun to look back on all the things you end up learning and doing together. So anyway, this is very faded. We have used this for many, many years. And these fabrics actually came mostly from my fabric stash. I had a bunch of fabric. My father owned a small variety store in a town of 3,000. It was called V for Variety Store. It was like a mini department store. We had expensive Fostoria glassware. We had a toy department. We had school, kind of everything, and a little tiny fabric department with a few bolts of cloth and the things the store would need. So over the years, that's where my fabric would come in, and I'd collect some. So I know there's some nursery prints in here. There's just some, and it's just faded and worn, but that makes a quilt really soft and well loved.
It is, and I'm lucky that I'm the one that gets to still use this.
Yes, because we're together.
Karen and I grew up in the same hometown. I used to go in the variety store, so I probably saw some of this material.
Yeah, that's right. No, I think he was headed for the toy department. And I had the unfortunate task of following all the youth, my age and younger. And I started in 7th grade, and the toy department was upstairs. That's how these departments, just a little cove upstairs. Oh, we couldn't leave, youth up there unattended.
Yeah. So
really, you want to follow your classmates.
Karen started supervising me when I was in junior high.
That's right. He had no idea. He ended up working for me today. So
didn't you start like in junior high?
I started in 7th grade.
Because of your allergies?
Yeah, I went to work in the store as soon as school was out, and then my mom could go home and make dinner and be with the younger kids. So, yes. And back in those days, when they had to go on buying trips to buy for the store, they just wrote an excuse, and I would skip school for 2 days. But I wouldn't attend because I would be on the store. I could do it by myself. So I worked every Saturday. The evenings we were open after school. I worked a lot.
You did.
But it was great. It was a great job.
That's where she got that work ethic.
So here's my inspiration. So first I took Flowers for All Seasons I just kind of did the yellows on one side and the other. And then I did another one with a little more dramatic. I couldn't find things that were exactly the fit of this, but you can see the log cabin pattern. Here I'm using narrower paper. I think this is a 1/2 inch, and I think this is 3/4 of an inch. And I left a larger frame on this just to show how you really could frame things as framed art out of our quilts. But I just love being inspired by this. So we're going to make a log cabin quilt.
And I have to get around and...
Now, in conversations we've been having, I was told that a true log cabin quilt always has red in the center because it's the fire in the hearth. I love that idea. I hadn't known it, and obviously I didn't make a quilt that way, and I'm not today either. But I love that sentiment. So if I make a log cabin quilt again in the future, although I make cards more now than quilts, I have to be perfectly honest, I will put red in the center.
And Native American quilt makers leave a flaw in it.
Yeah.
Because
we all leave flaws, whether or not intended. I think
theirs is intended.
Okay, we're ready. So I'm going to start with just a bunch of strips, and I'm using the peony paper, and I thought this will just be a very pastel-y quilt. It'll just be pinks and grays. So I thought it'd be a real contrast to these. And since I'm doing 1/2 inch strips, my circle is a 1 inch square. So I'm going to start with my circle. And now I would actually cut these out ahead of time, but I'm just going to show you how I did them here. I just kind of am marking things, and then I am hand cutting. And then that's going to go there. Then I'm going to go around the next one and do this. Whoa, that wasn't straight. So you can see how this first one is being built, and then I'm going to take you to one that's a little further along here. Okay, so you can see I keep turning my quilt, and I just keep adding. So this one's going to go here. So now I've done one that's further along. It just has one more row. So I thought we could add this together so you can kind of look at how it's going to end up. But that's how they've all been happening. So now I'm going to just do this, and let's see. I'm on the gray side. So I'm just going to pick a gray I haven't used yet. I really should measure first. That's what I did on the others, but you know, good enough is good enough. I'm going to do this one. Yeah, and let's try measuring. Let's try measuring this time. My actual quilts that I've made don't end up perfectly square. So see, I feel the same about my quilt cards. They don't have to end up perfectly square either. It's just all, you know, real time and real effects. So we have this one. And let's see, then I need another pink. So again, I'll look for a pink I haven't used yet. But you can see, this is just a fun way of playing with paper and putting out your designs and seeing what you want to use together. You could use all kinds of colors together. I'm still doing kind of one color on each side, but you really could do a log cabin anyway that you wanted. And then, oh, I didn't mean to do all those the same. So look at, besides that, that's supposed to be pink. What am I doing here? So I need to find a pink side that I haven't used. Maybe these disappeared on me. Here's a pink. Okay, this'll do. And you can cut paper for these and then have a bunch to, you know, just sit down and make a bunch of cards. Okay, and let's see if I have another one of those pinks. And if I don't, we will use something else. Oh, I do have one more. You can definitely see that I cut without a plan. Oh, and this last one will be really easy because I can just put this one on. And line this one up. And then cut it off right there. So then when it comes to framing, so this is what I've decided. So then I'm just going to pick, I just took the two colors. So I have my gray, and I need to make these bigger. So look at that. I'm going to do, because I forgot that I'm making a larger size card, but I'm going to do it like this, but I'm going to put it on gray, and then I will put it on the petal pink. And I think that that will make another fun card. So these were the ideas. Tim took away the quilt. I was going to set these up with the quilt, but I said, that's okay. I just wanted to end with showing that these are all inspired by this log cabin quilt. So there are more videos coming up on different quilts and using them for inspiration. Happy stamping.